Hello and welcome to the HVAC Diaries. Today is Saturday, July 1st. Happy Canada Day, you guys! And this is my weekly HVAC vlog. Actually, I'm wearing my HVAC crew shirt today, my Canada one, to support the day. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend, an extra long weekend with Monday off, or even Monday, Tuesday off if it's July 4th for you. I got quite a few exciting stories to tell you about this week, so let's hop right into it. We visited two plastic factories this week, actually two very different plastic factories. One was super clean, like people had to wear smocks and hairnets, and they make plastic milk and juice jugs there. And the other one was a plastic recycling place that is so dirty and stinks of rotting wine and alcohol. Or they sort and break up all kinds of plastics into like these little plastic chips, I guess. So the factory that makes the bottles, they have an air dryer there with that supplies compressed air to their airlines. And because the air dryer was down, it was actually supplying water through those airlines, which is terrible for production. And what we found was the air dryer was low on refrigerant. So we did a leak test and traced the fault to a little valve that was completely corroded and leaking refrigerant through. So we replaced that valve, did the whole thing, vacuumed the system, recharged it with refrigerant. But you guys, let me tell you, it was so difficult for me to concentrate on the job because I was so distracted by the factory production line. It is so fascinating there. These like flat sheets of plastic come out and they get blown into these shapes of these bottles. Then they cut off the end little plastic flaps and they go into a bin. Then these bottles, they travel up and are over this little conveyor belt and they come flying over, down, and oh my goodness. I took so many videos for you. Here, take a look. And then, because we were there for quite a number of hours that day, we also saw the production line like come to a halt because some of the bottles that were flying out of the thing just started flying off the conveyor belt. They were just like pew pew pew, like there was bottles everywhere, and because of that there was a backup further up the line, so the bottles were just like they're going along and then they're like start rolling over each other, and anyway there's bottles everywhere. People are running around like, oh, I thought it was really funny. And then the plastic recycling place, we also looked at an air dryer there. What theirs was doing was freezing up. So they were also getting water in the lines because it would freeze and then thaw out and then send water out. So we made some adjustments there. To be honest, that particular air dryer like overwhelmed me very much just because of the surroundings and stuff. I don't know why, like so many more mechanical things in that room just freaked me out. Maybe it's because it's so dirty and dark in there and I didn't get a lot of videos from that place, but what's cool about it is they've got this like conveyor belt that has all of these different types of plastics just like mushed together, and they end up in this big bin. And they've got this pneumatic arm that sorts the plastic. Maybe it's like weight or density or whatever it is. It senses something in the plastic. And it just moves around and like sorts it into different conveyors so they each go their own separate way. But this thing is just like what? That is super cool. Like, we get to work in the most interesting places. Before I forget, I'm not gonna forget, but if you're around last week for last week's vlog, that unit, that water source heat pump unit that we replaced, that was flat. We went back on Monday and it was flat. So we charged it up with nitrogen last week to see if it would hold the charge, to see if maybe just they forgot to charge it at the factory. But unfortunately, when we went back on Monday, it was completely empty, which means there was a leak. So we had to disconnect everything, pull the unit back down. We found the leak actually. Trevor, my brother, found it. It was just on the TXV. Just looks like a bad braze. So luckily we were able to find that really quickly, repair that leak, charge her up again, and then we had to do the whole lifting, mounting, and connecting everything again. Great success, so these clients don't have to wait another 15 weeks for a brand new unit. Although the sucky thing is now that they do have a brand new unit that's been repaired. We were treated to lunch on Thursday at a supplier barbecue. Yeah. Trevor and I spent one day together doing a couple of HVAC maintenance services. Doing this one-handed is not easy, okay.
Trevor's tall enough to do it. I have to climb and then like balance. I know. What?
We also looked at this ice machine in a little coffee shop. The ice machine was kind of making a little bit of ice, but then not for the rest of the day. Like it was just behaving in a very strange way. So we take a look at it, and we're like, yeah, no, it's just not pumping any water. There's no water flowing over the coil, not the coil, the evaporator plate to make ice. Something is very strange. So we fill up the trough. We go to fill up the trough to see if it'll actually pump water to eliminate the pump. And so we go to grab some water, and the lady's like, "Oh no, there's no water in this sink. This sink doesn't get cold water anymore. It's broken. I'll go grab you some water from the other side." And we're like, "Wait, how long has the sink not been working?" About 7 to 10 days. And how long has the ice machine not been working? About 7 to 10 days. So the supply to the sink was also the supply to the ice machine. And so because there's a problem with the cold water supply, that's the problem right there. Unfortunately, that's not something we helped with. We suggested that she call a plumber. But yeah, that was a learning experience for me. I don't know if I would have put 2 and 2 together with that one. I would have probably diagnosed it as a faulty water inlet valve or something like that. I don't know. Good, my brother was there. On Friday, we had a full day of jobs planned, and then the packaging company that we work for called us up and they're like, "Hey, you're coming today, right?" We're like, what? No. They're like, "Oh no, we've planned a big shutdown for the massive printing machine so that we can do some maintenance on it." They only do this every few months or so because it literally costs them like hundreds of thousands of dollars for this machine to be down per hour. We also cleaned the 2 filters. There's like a small filter in some housing. And then a large water filter. It was actually pretty cool. Trevor cut it open and we laid the filter out on the ground, and it's so amazing. The surface area in that little coil of filter is so long. You can see all the little bits of dirt along the way. Very cool, very interesting. In more personal news, I was interviewed for a podcast, the Tool Pros podcast, that aired on Wednesday morning. I'll put a little link below so that you can listen to that if you want to. And I also have a very exciting announcement to make. On Wednesday, I'll be making this announcement on my Instagram on Wednesday. So take a look at that if you are able to. But if not, I'll definitely put my announcement in next week's vlog because I'm very excited. It's a very cool opportunity for me. I'm excited to announce it. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. I'm so excited to have a nice sunny summery weekend, this long weekend. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good one too, and I'll see you next time.